Right. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for joining us, especially if you do have kiddos that you're trying to get in bed still and get up early in the morning and prepping for back to school stuff. I know that it isn't always easy to get on. It's not always maybe something you even like want to do, but I promise that you will never walk away from these calls feeling like, I wish I hadn't gotten on that. Hopefully, you will always walk away with something positive, encouraging, motivating, and the time that you put into being here will pay off for you in the long run. So thank you for making it a priority to be on here tonight. My name is Brooke Kleberger. I am a Diamond with Plexus, and I get to be your host tonight. And I want to introduce to you, I'm going to let our guest speaker go first. Her name is Allie Dorman. I had the pleasure of meeting Allie back in November in Florida. It was at a Leadership of Excellence where they bring jewels together and they train us all together. And I got to meet Allie and her sweet baby that she had with her there. And one thing I love about Plexus is that you just get to connect with people from all over the place at all different walks. And I've just had so much fun following her journey. I've been so inspired by her over the past months since getting to know her. And I think you guys are going to be really inspired by her also. So I'm going to turn it over to Allie and let her share with you her story.
Thanks, Brooke. I remember that like it was yesterday. My sweet Nora was with me. She was 4 months old at the time. And I went with my sponsor, who also had a 6 week younger baby. And we went and we're like, we're just going to hop on a plane and we're going to go and we're going to soak our cups. Because at the time, I was feeling really down in my business. Drop a one if you feel like you're like, womp womp, you're at the low in your business, and drop a two if you feel like you're at the height of your business. Because I'm going to share just a little bit. I only know I have 10 minutes, so hopefully it kind of wraps all together. I have a few notes. But, when you are on these calls, you guys are here for a reason because you want more. And I have been with Plexus for 5 years, but it has definitely not been rainbows and butterflies. And I mean, we've all, we're all in different seasons. We can't compare, but I think I might have been asked to come here because I just re-ranked to Emerald after 23 months of regrowth. And so if you're in a season of figuring it out or feeling like you're losing people or you're wondering why you're not growing, but you are growing more than you probably think. And so let's just throw it out there right now that if you're here on this call, it's because you aren't settling for where you are right now. And that's the first thing that I want to start this with is the opposite of success isn't failure, it's settling. And I'm in a training group right now, and that stuck out to me on the first call. And I'm like, you're right. I'm writing that down. I'm highlighting it. I'm reading it. It's on my mirror because the only way to fail in what we do is to just quit and not continue moving forward. So write that down. And, I could literally talk forever, but just, I guess, a screenshot or a snapshot of my journey. I started in 2018, right as I was getting married. Had fine, it wasn't a struggle for the money, but it was probably not a bill I needed to have as I was planning my wedding. But I trusted a friend. She was a college athlete. I didn't really feel like I was struggling with anything. Never struggled with my weight, always loved to exercise. I'm a nurse practitioner, so I just thought I was checking all the boxes. But I did have some health struggles like headaches and bloating, and I couldn't poop. As good old Emily Roberts says, the probiotic changed my life, and the bio cleanse is something I don't go without, but it's something that I just fell in love with. And so I guess when I started 5 years ago, I was a nurse. I was in NP school, but I didn't start sharing until I had my son, and he's 3.5. But when I was holding him in my chair, nursing him, thank goodness he was a Plexus baby. And, that's part of my story as far as my health testimony goes. But as far as why did I decide to talk about this? It's because I knew that I was never going to feel the same about working because I had a baby and I didn't want to miss all the sweet times. And I wanted to lean into this opportunity that was dropped in my lap. And I was one of those people that actually started as a preferred customer and thought I might get my money back. But 2 months in, guess what? My friend was talking about upgrading to ambassador and talking about my sharing because she knew I liked the triplex and I was pooping every day. So fast forward, it was about I went back to work as a nurse in surgery. Actually worked in endoscopy for a while, which is where you literally look at butts and guts. Not kidding. That's all you do all day. So I thought I knew what I was doing, but insert plexus, it was not getting to the root issue of why people were feeling crummy. So started to talk about it. Found a couple friends. One of my best friends went Fast Start Gold. That best friend isn't here with me anymore. Maybe you're in that season. Maybe you're wondering why your best friends aren't doing this with you. Maybe why they're, watching from the sidelines or have started and quit. That was 5 years ago or 3 years ago now. But anyways, I climbed through the ranks, got my MP degree, COVID. All right. So COVID happened. I had my nurse practitioner first role transition. I, got my career started with a virtual, Zoom, and it was just chaos. So I started working in primary care, and all the while I was still plugging away at this plexus thing. I knew that I wanted to use my love for health, and I just thought that being an NP was going to give me more autonomy and allow me to have more freedom, but it only allowed me to have more anxiety and more responsibility and more metrics and more reimbursement, whatever you want to call it. Not fun. So I went Emerald with my team in March of 2021. So height of the pandemic, as probably a lot of people ranked up. It was crazy. It was just a weird time, right? It was lots of growth, and I didn't really know what I was doing, I felt, but it was very much a vision caster for me on what was possible. In October of 2021, I was terminated from my position as I did not follow mandates that were expected of me. And that was a very big leap of faith to say that I went against the grain and believed in plexus at that time. And at that time, I was not at my emerald rank, but I knew that plexus was going to provide, and I knew it was a way out of a very not so fulfilling career. So if you are in the medical world, you know that it is a very hard area of work. It can be fulfilling if you find something you love, but it's also very demanding and very draining. And, I'm still licensed. I still love helping people, but I feel like that was a really big part of my story that, looking back now, it's been 2 years. I'm so thankful that I continued believing in plexus and knew that, my points at that time didn't define me and what I was doing and where I was going. So remember, the opposite of success isn't failure. It is settling for less than you believe you want. If you've never heard of me, but I love a good acronym. If I wasn't a nurse practitioner or in the medical field, I would be a teacher, because I always have something to take away and something to apply. But another thing I always remembered from Christina Williams and Brittany Howard is you can raise your standards or you can fall to the level of your systems. So you can try to do all the things and look for the secret sauce, but if you don't have a system to help someone do what you do, you're always going to slide back. And that's what I feel like I learned from my first trip up to Emerald was I didn't have a system for good follow-up, and I didn't have that meat to what is going to keep it sustainable. So I really helped to refine my systems over the last 1.5 years, and have really rebuilt with that time and belief, and just kind of figuring out little tweaks that I needed from the first go round. And the one thing I would say is, if you feel like you're stuck, or you feel like no one's wanting to do this with you, you got to check your thoughts about it. Do you believe that there's people out there that want to do this with you? Or do you believe that you're going to be there forever by yourself? For a really long time, I always felt like it was just me and I can hustle my way to the top and do the things, but it's exhausting. And if you enable people to depend on you instead of empower them, you're always going to feel that way. So maybe if you're, feeling that way, or you feel like mentally exhausted, like how could my team double, triple, get even any bigger, then that just might be a little thing to, think, check your thoughts and see, are you that type A perfectionist? Hence myself, I used to be that person that would try to do it all and you can't do it all in this. You just have to learn to build up leaders, which you always hear about. So I would say the one thing that's really helped me is my morning routine. Everyone has different seasons and families and, habits, but it's literally the habits that are so small that make the biggest difference. So a morning routine that has really just been a game changer for me is waking up before my kids. I say a devotional. I do write down a few things that I'm thankful for. I move my body and I do my IPA, and I don't look in my back office before I send new messages. I used to always check credit cards and declines the first thing, and guess how that made my energy go? Womp womp. So I would say if you feel like your business is kind of at a standstill, a little self-reflection. I'm going to give you 3 little things here in just a second. But my biggest thing I can say is checking yourself makes the momentum move in your business. If you are kind of like, this is a good analogy. Are you a thermostat or a thermometer for your business? Are you kind of feeling it out and trying to get things moving and trying to nudge people that seem like they're not doing a whole lot? Or are you in there creating the momentum by doing the activities that you want to see? And that's something that I've really been consistent with, is if I feel like no one is working, I get my booty to work and I start sending more messages. I start getting in my stories. I start going live, and then I encourage someone to go live with me. And that creates that impact and that fire that we need to start from ourselves, instead of being a thermometer wondering why the temperature is not as high as we want it to be. So there's definitely seasons that I feel like I get more in that trap of management mode. And so sometimes it's just a simple tweak of letting those people go that might be holding you back more than you think, and giving life to new people. So getting your messages going, showing up so that you can bring in that new excitement that's going to help you stay full in your business if you feel like you're dragging those people along. I would definitely say I've held on to quite a few people a little longer than I should have. And I've learned that in retrospect, to say that maybe they were holding me back instead of helping me grow. But that's just a learning point that we have to make along the way. The 80-20 is something that I feel like really sticks out to me. Is I am one of those people that sometimes focuses on what I didn't accomplish instead of what I did, or give my attention to the 80% of people that kind of sort of say they want it, and not the 20% that are actually showing up. And so what I can say truly has helped me is focusing on the 20%. You don't need 15 people to get you to your next rank or to get to your monthly goal. You need 2 to fully be in, to row with you, and to focus on the intentional things. And the other people can either come and join and figure it out, or they will fizzle out and stop distracting you. So 80% of what we do is mindset, and 20% is skill. Don't overthink it. Don't try to reinvent the wheel. Look up Emily Roberts on YouTube. She literally doesn't even probably know my name, but I follow a lot of her trainings and take a lot of her 6-day silver star things and just use them because they work. And use them and use them and use them, and refine what you feel like works, and stop what you don't, but don't try to apply it and expect results. That's something too, that in this business we have to be patient and know that our fruit of what we do can take time, but just doing it and remembering the outcome will not always be immediate, but it's a seed planted each time you do it. Okay. And then I would say 3 little tips that I wanted to, if you guys are note takers or want to take anything away, if you feel stuck right now, here's 3 things that I would say to focus on. Go recruit. We can't get unstuck if we're not filling our funnel. So the one thing I always help my girls do is, if you feel stuck, start an ABC challenge for yourself. Grab a friend and go do an ABC challenge. That's giving every letter of the month every day of the month a letter. On day 1, A, you're going to go find 10 A's on your social media. You can filter by the letter and you're going to go message. And doing that with a business reach out focus, that has been something that, even at the jewel level, sometimes we default to the products because it's easy to talk about, especially me being with my background, but reaching out and offering your opportunity. If they say no, no thanks, not interested, you default to the products. But if you always reach out about the products, you're going to have a team full of product lovers that you hope are going to want the opportunity. But if you reach out about the opportunity, they fall in love with the products, and then you fall back and say, hey, remember that opportunity I told you about? Now that you feel great, want to learn about it. Or you're just kind of shifting that 1%, an ABC challenge, I'm telling you, helps me restart my business a lot. Um, you know, if you are someone that likes to just take it in bite-sized nuggets, 5 a day, times 5 days is 25 a week. It's 100 a month, or 25 every Monday. You got 100 messages new a month. That would be a minimum if you're trying to grow, and just knock it out. So whether you batch your messages heavily on one day of the week, that's what I do because I'm that squirrel brain, or go and send 5 a day as your morning routine, and you're going to move your business forward. So the first R is recruit. The second one is refocus. Brooke's going to take it over here in a minute on the why. Why are you here? Why are you fueling your business? Like, what's going to keep you showing up when it sucks? When 98% of days you don't feel like it? We can't wait to feel motivated, because motivation is a fleeting feeling, and discipline is something that has to come from why are we here and why are we going to want to do this? So figure it out, think about it, pray about it. Sometimes it doesn't come overnight, but you just have to dig deeper and think, why am I going to get up when that alarm clock goes off? And then lastly would be refine. Refine your systems and refine your process. Where is your gap? Fail, go try again, but keep failing. And the last thing I want to leave you with is, I'm going to suck my way to success, and I'm going to become a master on the way. I'm going to become a master through my disaster. That's another Christina Williams quote that really sticks with me, because it's all figure outable. You're going to suck and you're going to feel uncomfortable, but those are things that make us know that we're growing. And so hopefully something I said is helpful, encouraging, valuable, tangible. Don't feel like you have to go change everything, but if you don't have a system, start there, and then help one friend go and make a post tomorrow. That's what I would say would be my first plan, or my first action step. If you feel stuck, go send a message and then help one friend do the same.
Allie, thank you so much. That was, I feel like, exactly what so many of us on this call needed to hear tonight. And I feel like it was so relatable and also applicable to just like any season that you might be in with your business right now. Like, I know I took notes and I can totally take stuff away from that. And I just appreciate your realness, and like, it hasn't all been great on your journey to Emerald and then backwards and back to Emerald. And I feel like so many times we can get in that falling back part and just feel like we're alone and we're the only one that's ever happened to. And like, maybe our time is over, like we're not supposed to be doing this anymore. And so many of us have stories of that. And I love your story of like, you've been rebuilding, and these are the things that have helped you get to where you are. So thank you so much for sharing that tonight. Allie, you do not have to stick around with us, but you're welcome to if you want to. You're also welcome to jump off because I know you're a busy mom. But I just kind of want to piggyback off of what Allie talked about tonight. And I didn't know how much of what she was going to share would just like jive with what I wanted to share with you guys tonight too. So I feel like it worked out really perfectly. Allie was talking about how sometimes you just have to stop trying to like resurrect the dead on your team. You have to stop trying to bring back the people that are just not coming back. And I feel like I've wasted so much time in my business in the past trying to figure out how to get those people to come back, and they were just done, instead of going to find fresh new people who were excited, who were ready, who wanted my attention and my energy. And so that's just a reminder that like, it's not that you give up on people, but that is depressing when that's all that you're doing is trying to get people to come back and focusing on those people who haven't been taking their products and aren't doing it, instead of just going and finding new, fresh, fun, excited blood. So I'm so glad that she talked about that tonight. I feel like when things get hard in this business, if you do not know where you're going and why you're going there, that's when people quit. And so I feel like a lot of times it's really easy when we get started. We have like that really superficial why and what we're doing here, and we just want to feel better, and then we just want to get the cost of our products paid for, and it's like it's right there when we start. But then as things get going, your why will most likely evolve with you over time, and it's going to change depending on the season of life that you're in, depending on what's going on, depending on if you met that previous goal and you're like, okay, now what am I doing this for now? Why am I still here? But if you do not know your why, and I'm not saying like I want to make $100 this month, like that's not a why. That's your goal, like that's like maybe the tangible thing that you're trying to reach, but that's not why you're doing this. Why do you need 100 extra dollars this month? Like, what will that allow you to do for yourself? Or what will that allow your family to do? How will that give you guys more breathing room? Will that put gas in your car? Will that put more groceries on your table? Will that pay for your school supplies? And if so, like, why is that important to you? Like, what does it mean to be able to put more groceries on your table, or to be able to take your family out for a night out to eat, or to get those school supplies? Like, what do those things mean to you? And it's bigger than just a dollar amount, it's the meaning behind that dollar amount. It's what that dollar amount will allow you to be able to do with your life, or your family to be able to do. Um, and I just feel like sometimes we set these goals and maybe we're not feeling motivated because we're just so focused on, I need 3 people, I need to get somebody to silver, I need to get somebody to gold. And I think it's great to have those tangible things that we're like working towards, but if you don't know the reason you're doing that, it's going to be really hard to get up and stay disciplined and stay consistent in what you're doing unless you really know the reasoning behind all of that. When you're crystal clear on your focus, will get up early in the morning, like Allie is doing, and you have a good routine and you're consistent with your daily actions because you know where you're going and you know why you're going there. Um, and maybe you know all of this already, and maybe you did in the past and you're just not really sure what that is for you right now, because I've been there too. And it seems to me like every time I have a why and I have a goal and it's really good and it like makes me cry. Um, and when I get there, it's amazing. It's wonderful. But if I don't rediscover my why and like, okay, what's next? Now what for our family? Like, what is this going to allow me to do now? If I don't take the time to figure that out, like I can tell you, I know what happens. I slide backwards. It's like, oh, I'm not as consistent. This isn't as fun anymore because I don't know where I'm going and why I'm doing that. So when I first started sharing about Plexus, it was because I wanted to cover the cost of my products. Let me know if that's you in the comments. Like, are you just trying to cover the cost of your products right now? And for me, the reason that that was so important was because our budget was really tight and I probably should not have been spending money on supplements. But I felt like crap. And I also had mom guilt for spending any amount of money on myself when I probably should have been paying for like lots of other things or paying off debt. But I wanted these products to see if I felt better. And so that was really big for me. And my why was to like not have that mom guilt of spending money on myself on supplements. And so that was my first why. Once I hit that point, my husband wanted to start using the products. And so my second why became like making enough money so that he could use the products. But more than that, the reason that that was so important to me and to us was because he was coming out of addiction and he was in recovery, and the doctors were putting him on antidepressants and on anxiety medications, and he was not like himself at all. He was up and down and tired and moody, and it just wasn't working. And he saw what I was using was working, and he wanted to try it, and he wanted to try it consistently. So that was really powerful for me. It was like, okay, can I make enough money that we can both afford to take these products every single month? Because I truly believe that this could help him in a really important season in his life. And then my why evolved after that point into kind of caught the vision of like, what if I could use this to not have to work full time? Like, what if I didn't have to leave my kids and go work 40 hours somewhere else and get home after they're already in bed, and just like the hustle and bustle of life all the time of like, rushing here and there and sending my kids to the babysitter every day and like just wishing that I could be there with them for those milestones. And so my why kind of evolved to like, what if I could use this to make $20,000 a year? But what that $20,000 a year meant for me was that I would be able to drop down to part time at my job so that I could be with my kids more. I could cover health insurance for us because I carried the health insurance for our family. So we would be able to pay for that out of pocket, and I would be able to be there for more of those moments with my kids. Instead of doing that down the road when they were in school, like I would have missed out on all of these years with them at home. So that became my why. And my why was crystal clear that I was going to use this to go part time at my job. Um, and I did that. And I got a different job, actually, not that job, but a different job where I was part time once I went. I think it was like senior gold with Plexus was my goal. And then I started to see the vision like, okay, what if my why was I didn't have to leave to go to work at all? Like, what would that look like for our family? What would that allow our family to be able to do? Well, we would be able to travel more if we wanted to travel more. I wouldn't have to call off sick every time one of my 4 kids was sick and they're passing junk around and somebody's making me feel guilty because I can't be at work and somebody has to cover my clients that I'm supposed to see or cover the class that I'm supposed to teach. And so that would allow me so much freedom. I wouldn't have to try to scramble to find somebody to watch my kids. I'd be able to be there to transport them to and from preschool and to and from their sporting events. Like I would be able to do that. So my why was bigger than just that dollar amount. There was so much meaning behind all of that. We were able to do that. And I'm not saying like it was like bing, bang, boom. There was a lot of work and consistency and time that went into all of that. Um, but your why has to evolve with you as you grow and as you go. And if you're just not feeling motivated right now or you're feeling stuck, take a look at your why and maybe even ask somebody, ask your upline, ask myself, ask Emily, like to help you figure out what your why is if you don't really know what it is. Because your why, there used to be the saying that your why should make you cry. And yes and no. Like I believe that a good why can like you can really pull at your heartstrings, but not everybody's a crier. So it's okay if that doesn't happen either. And sometimes we are just in seasons where like I'm not exactly sure what that is. And that's okay too. It doesn't mean that you have to quit what you're doing if you don't know your why in this season right now, but maybe you just need to talk that out with somebody who can help ask the right questions and pull that out of you. But one really good strategy is just continuing to ask why. Like, I want to cover the cost of my products. Why? Well, because we don't have the money in our budget for them. Okay, why? Well, because we're struggling and we have $2,000 of credit card debt over here, and we have a car payment over here and a mortgage over here. Okay, great. So why will that help you guys? You like keep asking yourself why until you get to that point where you really feel it pulling at your heartstrings. Um, or another great question that I like to ask is just like, what will change in my life when I hit that goal? Or how will my life look differently if this happens? And that will help you kind of get to the bottom of why you're doing what you're doing. I will say this. If you know your why and you feel like your why is crystal clear and it's pretty big, and it makes you emotional to think about, and you know your why and you still just feel stuck and unmotivated, this is going to be a hard truth for you guys. But if you know your why, but you're still feeling stuck, then it's probably because you don't believe that you are capable of doing that thing. And I'm going to say that again. If you do know your why, but you're still feeling stuck, then it's probably because you don't believe in your ability to make that happen. So then it becomes a belief issue. And that's like a whole other talk that my friend Lindsay Joseph is really good talking about. So I'll throw that on her another time. But if you have all those things in line, then it's most likely just a thing that like you don't believe that you are capable of doing that, or you don't believe in this opportunity. And maybe you just need somebody to kind of speak some belief into you, and to help tell you that like this is an amazing opportunity and you are so capable of doing it. And you heard Allie talk before, and I'll say it too, like you do not have to have everything figured out. You don't have to have all the perfect systems. Like you are going to try things and they're not going to work. And then you're going to try some other things and they're not going to work. And you're going to try something that might work. And it might work for a little bit. And then you're going to have to try something else because something else because that's no longer working. And that doesn't mean that you are not capable of doing this. That doesn't mean that your time is done and all of this. That doesn't mean that you can't do this. It just means that sometimes we have to pivot. Um, but you have to believe in yourself and your ability to figure it out. Because, like Allie said, everything in this is figure outable. You just have to believe in your own ability to go figure that out and try different things and make it happen. Because I believe that every single one of you on this call can do that. And that's why you're here. If you didn't believe that, then you wouldn't be on this call tonight. So that is what I wanted to tell you guys about your why. I want to know though, drop them in the comments. Does anybody like want to share their why? Do you know your why? Are you struggling with your why right now? Is it pretty crystal clear to you? Like, do you know where you're going? Because that will be the driving force for you as you move forward and you continue to work in your business.
I want to pick on Megan Patron.
She's gonna love that.
Megan just went silver like an hour ago.
Yay, Megan! Do you want to share your why with us?
Yeah, I'm really excited. Just
Yay,
went silver, and then I
congratulations.
texted Emily and I was like, guess what? I'm silver. So yeah, actually my why originally was like I just need to lose weight. Like it wasn't about the business at all, really. I was like, I need to lose weight. And this is my second time in Plexus. I was in it years and years ago and I lost weight. And my boyfriend at the time lost weight too. And we were like, we know these products work, so why don't we just go back on them and see, you know, was that just a fluke that they were working, or like let's just try it again. So we yeah, we just started back, I don't know, it's been just a couple weeks. We just started again and I'm like, you know what, I'm just gonna share and Emily's just been like really supportive, like just talking about things genuinely and the business side too. And I was like, you know what? Like money was an issue getting the products. And she was like really understanding. She's like, yeah, I had to save up, I had to save up to get the products. And I'm like, you know what? I can't let this be an excuse. I need the money, so I'm going to go silver. And then I'm just gonna at least do that and pay for my products. So, and then it just became really fun. So money is my why, like being healthy is my why, having fun doing this. I have a 16-year-old son and a 10-year-old bonus son, and I want to be an example for them. And I want to be an example for other people. And like Emily was just we were in this our group chat and we were like, what's your biggest fear? And I sat there and I thought about it and I'm like, not making a difference before I die is literally my biggest fear. Like I want to make a difference for other people, starting with myself. So I'm just having fun doing this. So
Megan,
thanks
I
for picking
love
on me.
that. And that's your why. Your why is not just to lose weight. Your why is not to cover the cost of your products. Your why is to make a difference in other people's lives, starting with yourself and being the example for yourself and for your kids and for your family and the impact that that has for other people. It's not about $100 or $150. It's not even about losing a little bit of weight. It's what that weight does for you, how it makes you feel, and how it's going to impact other people around you.
Yeah,
That's so
absolutely.
cool. Thank you for sharing, Megan.
No problem.
I love that brand new silver, and there's lots of love for you in the comments, Megan. So go look at that too. Does anybody else want to share their why? I saw some people saying like I need to rethink on mine, and that's totally fine. I feel like I'm in a season like that right now too. So I would guess that Emily Roberts knows her why for her reentry account. Do you want to share any of that, Emily?
Yeah. Okay. So when I first started, my why was weight loss. I think that's a lot of women's why. And I think it's super normal to have a health why in the beginning. And so once I started to reach that goal, it pivoted. And I think somebody asked me like, well, why are you doing this? And I was like, I don't know. It felt silly not doing this and not talking about something that made me feel so great. Like I used to talk about my diet soda all the time, and my friends would bring me a diet soda to like everywhere I went, church, like the gym, like everywhere. And so now then it transitioned to like, oh, she's drinking the pink drink now. And I became the crazy pink drink lady. And I kind of I liked the title, like I did. And so that why came into like motion with, I lost both of my grandparents at really, really young ages. And they were like my bonus parents because my dad is not in the picture. And so my grandmother passed away at 58, diabetic complications. My grandfather followed suit at 63, diabetic complications. Our products were originally made for diabetics before it became a gut health network marketing company, before they came the Plexus we all know and love. Like if you do your homework on Plexus, like that's how they started. And knowing that, it was like a dagger to the heart. Like, why didn't I tell him? Like, I mean, my grandma, that was 2008. So I didn't find Plexus till 2014. But my grandpa, like, yes, he was a stubborn man, but he also listened. He knew like what I was doing. And he was very proud of me. And like, he was like, you go girl, like you're always on my Facebook. Every time I log in my Facebook, you're always on my Facebook. And I feel like, and maybe there's truth to this, I don't know. I don't beat myself up about it anymore, but my why is, I hope my family knows how much I love them and care for them. And so it became this little mantra of like, they're not going to know about Plexus until I tell them. Like my why became, I have to make sure they know about this. And so, and it also just aligned really well with our business. And so after my mom lost both of her parents, and then I made that diamond dock, we went diamond as a team. I made my diamond dock, and my mom is in my diamond dock. And she was so nervous. And she says something, if you ever go watch my diamond doc, she says, I promised Hillary and Emily that I would be the healthiest me because I lost both of my parents. And that was very important to me because my mom wasn't healthy. So then my why became, I want to have enough money to take care of my mom. So do y'all see, like my why has like evolved. I've been doing this for 9 years. It's not just like, I want to be skinny. Like, no, that was my ignorant mindset in the beginning. I was 24. Every 24-year-old wants to be skinny, right? But like now I'm 33. I have 3 kids. My body's changed. My goals have changed. Our debt to income ratio has changed. Like all those types of things have changed. And so my why pivots with that. So yeah, we went diamond. So like, what do you do after you hit the top company? Well, Plexus allows you to do it again. I want to go from 0 to 750 before the year is over. So I want to go senior Ruby before this year is over. And Megan is on Emily 2.0. She's like my first business builder on my reentries. It's so cool. And that's my why. My why now is I've done this. I'm the evidence. This is real life. Allie's doing this thing. She is real life evidence. Brooke is a diamond ambassador. She is real life evidence that this is available and possible for you. So like my new why is making sure Megan goes to bed at night knowing, yes, I can. Yes, I sure can. Like my why is making sure women and moms, especially, because who tells mom good job besides a 3-year-old who's like trying to help you wipe? Like, good job, mama. Like, other than that, like who tells the mom good job? So that's my newest why. And it's I'm specifically talking to women and moms on Instagram. Like that's my niche audience, whatever you want to call it. It's people that may or may not feel like me. So my why is to make sure people like Megan, who is going for her master's, she has every reason not to do this right now. She is busy. But of course she would. Like, of course she would do this because it fits perfectly with her goals. And Plexus is so simple to not talk about. So I love that she went silver tonight, and because it's like, it just totally fits all of this. So for those of you that are like, I'm struggling with my why, I don't know why I'm doing this anymore. It's the thing you're avoiding, the thing you don't want to talk about. That's your why. That's your why. What are you avoiding? And what do you not tell the world about? And you don't have to go tell your why to the world, but like, what do you and your husband fight about the most? That's probably your why. Just saying. You know, what stresses you out the most in your income, in your family plan, in your, like, maybe it's your current job situation where you're at. That's probably your why. It's in there, tucked in there somewhere. And it's going to take you a little bit of time to uncover it. But once you do, like full speed ahead, it's hard not to do this Plexus thing. Like it's that exciting. So thanks for asking me that question, because I had to do that with my business coach today and tell her my why. So I was like ready for it.
That was perfect. Thank you for sharing, Emily. I appreciate all of that. And also, like, I just want to like make a note too that your why might not be money related either. It like might be health related. It might be like you just want this community and you crave like friendships and you crave the positivity and the empowerment that you get from this. It might be for recognition. Like Emily said, like nobody else recognizes the hard work that you're doing, but you see your name on the leaders board and that feels dang good. It might be because Plexus sends you stuff or they send you on trips that you otherwise would never take or never schedule the time to take with your husband or your mom or your sister or whatever. It might be because you like you're competitive and this just feels good to like do something for yourself and you don't have anything else for yourself. And this is something that allows you to feel like a person and an individual outside of being a mom. So whatever it is, it does not have to be, it's going to look so different for everybody. But I love having these conversations with people. Obviously, Emily does too. So we're always here to help you guys. But I am going to wrap things up. I'm supposed to talk about black, which seems really after all of that talk. So really quickly, black is an awesome product. It blocks 48% of carbs and sugars. Um, Everybody wants block or balance. Like you just want to have it at home. Balance is like the new and improved version of block, but I still think block is really great also. They have different ingredients, so you don't need to use both of them. Like you can pick one or the other. But some people just feel better and do better on block versus on balance, specifically because of the what is it? Um the seaweed that's in the block. And that is supposedly really good for people who have thyroid issues. So you take block, you take two before your like heaviest carb sugar meal of the day. And it works instantly. And what it does is it just neutralizes the enzymes that turn carbs and sugars into glucose so that those don't affect you as much. So it does not block important nutrients, which is also really cool. So that's it. That's all I'm going to say about black. Get yourself some or use your perks points to get that and have it in your cupboard. I love having it before like tonight or something. And then I don't feel like as yuck after all of that. So anyways, thank you guys for being on tonight. I really appreciate all of you. I apologize we went a little bit over, but thanks to everybody who shared. Thank you, Allie, for jumping on tonight. And I hope you guys have a wonderful evening. See y'all.